Uttara, welcome, and BPBWA is so happy and delighted to have you doing a session for us. You are the absolute beginning, the Shubharambh of Avan Saraswati Puja 2021, this unique digital celebration we are having. Before I start off, I just have one small request. If you could just very quickly introduce yourself and tell me
Sure.
what is it or what was it that actually triggered your passion for something as beautiful as storytelling.
Thank you. Firstly, thank you so much, Bornadi. Thank you so much, BOBP, for giving this lovely platform to reach out to so many children and to share my stories here. In a nutshell, very, very quickly. So, storytelling is something that I have been doing in various forms right since I was myself in school. So, I love to write right from the beginning. And then, you know what, life happened and I became enmeshed in a proper corporate career where I spent more than 15 years. But somehow storytelling used to keep calling back to me, so I continued writing. And after my son was born, I realized that I was making up stories almost every day or every night, telling him new stories. And then I thought, why not? And then all my friends also asked me to put out all of those stories so that they could share them with their kids as well. And that's how Once Upon a Time with Uttara was born. So
Oh,
I still tell all my stories to my son before they go out anywhere else. And for today's session, we'll be doing not original stories, but we'll be doing two folk tales, which are very interesting. Have lots of magic in them, and I'm sure that the kids will have lots of fun listening to them.
oh wow, that's wonderful. Because I just wanted to connect also because nowadays, the buzzword in corporates or in marketing is storytelling, and it's taught
Yes,
to even postgraduate students, whereas we're actually born
absolutely.
as storytellers and story listeners. So very happy to have you on board. And now I just hand over the stage to you. Please entertain elders as well as kids with your stories and all the best. And I'll get back once you finished your storytelling magic. Yeah. Thank you so much,
Sure,
Uttara. Please go ahead.
sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, hello to all the children out there. Hi, it is lovely to meet all of you, and I'm so happy to be here and be telling you stories today. So, do we all like stories? If you want to say yes, then give me a thumbs up. Show me a thumbs up. Okay, awesome. And is there anyone who doesn't like stories? Can I see any thumbs up for that? Ah, thank God. There's no one who does not like stories. Everyone enjoys stories, right? Okay. So for today's session, there are two things we'll remember. Okay. The first one is when you want to say yes, or when you want to say okay, or when you want to say great, you show me your thumbs ups. All right. Got it? Got it? Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, smart kids. Okay, and number two is there will be some times when I will ask you to unmute yourself. All right? I will ask you to unmute yourself when I ask a question and I want you to share an answer. If you want to say something, you must unmute yourself, speak, and after that, you can go back on mute again. Is that okay? Is that okay? Yes, give me a thumbs up if you understand. Wonderful. Wonderful. Great. So, are we ready for our storytelling session? Who's going to give me a thumbs up? Who's going to give me a thumbs up? Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, brilliant. All right. So, before we start with storytelling, do you know what's the most important thing for a storyteller to have? Think. The most important thing, obviously, is voice. If I'm not able to tell you a story, how can you hear it? Right? Okay. So, do you know some of the things that storytellers do to make sure that they can speak properly and their voice is good? They practice some tongue twisters. Would you like to learn one or two simple tongue twisters today as part of the storytelling session? Would you? Yes? Thumbs up? Yay! Okay, I'll give you an example of a tongue twister. Okay, very simple. I'm sure all of you have heard this before. Very simple. Listen carefully. Okay, listen carefully. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter was so bitter that she bought some better butter to make the bit of butter better. Huh? What just happened? You want to hear it again? Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter was so bitter that she bought some better butter to make the bit of butter better. Simple, isn't it? Yes? Isn't it simple? Okay, I think you can practice that in your free time. And before we start the session today, I want to show you something. And I want you to practice that tongue twister with me so that you also become expert storytellers afterwards. All right? Promise? Deal? Is that a deal? Yes? Cool. So let me show you. Okay, once again, can I have the can I have the control to share my screen? I want to present something, Ananya. All right, thank you. Okay, while Ananya is setting that up, I just wanted to share about my podcast with you. So my name is Uttara. Thank you so much for attending this session. And I have just shared the details of my podcast on which loads of stories are available. Okay, so even after the session, if you would like to log on or listen to any of the stories, you have the option of visiting the site, of visiting the page and listening to loads and loads of stories. So until then, let me show you something. Let me show you something with which we are going to start off today's session. Okay, so once more, welcome to Story Time with Once Upon a Time with Uttara. And I am very glad to have you here. Can all of you see the screen? Can all of you see the
Yes, we
screen?
can. We can.
Great. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, wonderful. All right. So let's start with a simple tongue twister that all of you can do. It's very simple, okay? I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Okay, who wants to share that? Who wants to say that? Who wants to unmute themselves? Can I see a raise of hands? Can I see a raise of hands? Any of you want to unmute yourself and say that? Okay. Arya, do you want to say it better? Arya, you want to unmute yourself and say that? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, Arya. I scream, you
I
scream, we all scream for ice cream.
I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream.
Awesome! That's 2 thumbs up for Arya. Wonderful. Okay. Ayan, do you want to share that? Do you want to say that? Okay, unmute yourself, beta, and say that.
I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream.
Whoa, that was awesome and super fast. Wow, well done. So you guys are already well on your way to becoming super agile speakers and storytellers. Wow, well done. All right. So are we ready for today's first story? Are we ready for today's first story? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Are you ready for the first story? Okay, let's go. So the first story for today is called Haku's Power. Okay, it's called Haku's Power. Do you know who Haku was? So this story is actually based on a Japanese folk tale. All right. So there was a young man called Haku. And do you know what he used to do? He
Yes.
was a stone cutter. Yes, darlings. Arya, you want to say something better?
Yes,
Tell us.
I cannot see the screen.
I stopped sharing better. I don't want you to look at the screen. I want you to use your own imagination.
Okay.
Listen to the story and use your imagination. So imagine how Haku was. Imagine what kind of a stone cutter he was. Imagine his heavy hammer while he used to swing it and try and break the rocks on the side of the mountain. Yes? So Haku was a young man and He lived in Japan. Remember, this is a Japanese folk tale. And Haku was a stone cutter who used to work very hard from morning till night, morning till night, morning till night, crushing and breaking rocks and stones. Okay, so Haku used to feel, ah, why do I have to work so hard? Why do I have to do so much work? Why can't I have an easier life? I want to be powerful. So Haku, one day, as he was cutting stones on the mountainside, he saw that the emperor, who is an emperor? The king, right? The emperor was passing by next to the mountain where Haku was smashing rocks. And Haku saw that the emperor was sitting comfortably on top of a palki that was being carried by 16 guards. My goodness, can you imagine that? A huge golden palki being carried by 16 guards. Wow! And Haku looked at the emperor, and Haku thought, and Haku wished, oh, if only I had a life as easy as the emperor's. If only I could sit on a golden palki being carried by 16 guards. Life would be perfect. And what do you think happened then? Just then, there was a flash of magic light. Whoosh! And Haku got transformed into the emperor. And Haku found that he was sitting on the golden palki being pulled by 16 guards. And Haku thought to himself, wow, this is awesome. I am now the emperor. I can do what I want. I have all the powers. Yay! My dream has come true. And do you think that Haku became happy after that? Yes? Yes? Do you think so? What do you think? No! Why not? Why not? Does anybody want to try and answer? Why not? Why was he not happy? Okay, Arya, how about you try and answer, darling? Yes, Arya.
I want to tell you that it is hard to be a king because you need to solve the problems of the villagers.
Whoa, very good answer. Very good answer. Thank you so much, Arya, for sharing that. Yes, it is indeed difficult to be a king. So Haku sat on the palki and he reached the place where all the villagers had come with lots of their problems. And they came and told Haku, oh, somebody stole my cattle. Oh, somebody stole my fields. Oh, somebody stole my grains. Oh, somebody stole my gold. And Haku was going mad. And Haku thought, oh my God, it is so hot. I don't want to be the emperor. So much sweat running down all over my body. Yuck. I can't deal with so many people's problems. I have enough of my own. And then Haku thought, I want to be powerful, but I don't want to do any work. So what do you think Haku did? Haku thought, I were powerful and strong like the strong sun. I don't have to do any work. I just have to sit there and keep shining brightly all day long. And I am still the most powerful. So as soon as Haku thought that, do you know what happened? there was a flash of golden magical light, and Haku got transformed into the blazing fiery sun. Haku felt so big and so strong and so powerful. He thought, now nothing else in the world can ever bother me. I just have to be the sun. I just have to remain strong, and everyone will feel my heat. And then what do you think happened? Do you think Haku was happy to be bright like the sun? Who can answer? Okay. This time, why don't you tell me what you think, Ayan? Unmute yourself and answer, beta. Yes? Tell us, beta.
I think he was sweating all the time,
You were sweating all the time because you were so hot?
and he had to go down and up and down and up at the right time.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. That was a lovely answer. Thank you so much for your answer. And you know what happened in going down and going up and going down and going up and going down and going up? The season started to change. It was not summer always. Slowly, it became monsoon season. And you know what happens in the monsoons? Rain comes down. And although Haku stayed powerful and strong in the sky, he was completely covered by dark, huge clouds. And none of his light, none of his heat, none of his strength was able to reach the earth. And then Haku thought, oh my God, what is the use of being so powerful and so bright like the sun if I can't even send my rays to the earth? And then Haku thought, I pray that I was as big and strong as the clouds, because clearly the clouds are stronger than the sun. As soon as he wished, as soon as he prayed, there was a flash of golden light, and Haku got transformed into a gigantic cloud. And then Haku rained, and he sent rain, and he sent rain, and he sent more rain. But then you know what happened? He thought, I will rain so much, I will send so much water that I will wash everything away that's there in my path. But no matter how much he tried, no matter what he did, the huge, ginormous mountain that was there stayed firm and strong and did not move a single bit. No matter how much rain Haku sent down, how much water Haku sent down, the mountain remained strong and immovable. And then Haku thought to himself, what to do, what to do, what to do? I wish that I was the mountain instead, because the mountain is clearly stronger than the clouds that sends the rain. And there was a flash of golden light, and Haku got transformed into the mountain. Do you think Haku was finally happy? Take a guess. No, you are right, Arya. Thank you so much. Haku was still not happy. You know why? Because Haku thought
Because he could not move.
he could not move. Yes, that is one. But listen carefully. As Haku stood there, being a strong, big mountain, suddenly he felt, ouch, 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 ouch. Whoa, what's happening? Ouch. Whoa, what's happening? And he realized that there were stone cutters, rock cutters, who were breaking the rocks on the mountain. And bits and pieces of Haku's strong mountain rocks were breaking off because of the stone cutters. And then Haku thought, oh my God, what a fool I have been. I should have remained a rock cutter because he is the strongest, and he made the mountain also break into pieces. And that is how Haku wished, and he prayed and he prayed and he prayed and he prayed. And he said, please let me go back to being myself. I am happy to be a stone cutter, to be a rock cutter, and I want to be that. And then there was a flash of golden light, and from a mountain, Haku got transformed back into himself. And that, children, is when Haku's eyes opened, and Haku realized, oh, it was a beautiful dream. So, do you understand what Haku learned from his dream? Haku learned that one should always be happy and not try to be like other people. Everybody has their own problems, right? So Haku realized very well off in what he was doing. And finally, Haku the rock cutter, Haku the stone cutter, became very, very, very happy being a rock cutter. Did you guys like the story? Give me a thumb up. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you,
I love
kids.
this story.
Thank you, beta. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Okay, I think we are a little bit short on time, so I will skip the next tongue twister and we will straight away move on to story number 2. Is that okay with you? Is that okay with you? Give me a thumbs up if you want to start story number 2. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, awesome. Okay, we are going to start story number 2. But before that, I have to ask you, are you guys afraid of ghosts? Are you? Are you? Are you? Are you? Tell me fast. Yes, no. Who wants to answer? Who wants to answer this? Raise your hand. Okay, Arya, unmute yourself, beta, and answer.
Miss, when I look ghost things, I think that I will not be scared, and when I go to sleep, I'll be so scared.
Oh, you are scared when you go to sleep. Don't be scared. After you listen to the story, you will not be scared. Okay, Ayan, yes, unmute yourself and answer.
I don't believe in ghosts.
You don't believe.
Anyway,
Okay, that's awesome.
I shouldn't say the story because I know it.
Okay, Ayan, mute. Please go on mute. Okay, does anybody else want to share anything? Okay, cool. So then let's start with the story. Okay? Yes, thumbs up. Yes, thumbs up. Cool. All right. So this is the story of clever Onda. There was a farmer called Onda. This story is based on a folk tale that comes all the way from the state of Assam. Okay, you all know where Assam is. Assam is a very beautiful part of India. You all know that, right? So this story is a folk tale that comes all the way from Assam. Okay, so listen very carefully. All right. So this story is about a clever farmer called Onda. Now, Onda unfortunately was quite poor and he had a very large family. He had 5 children. So it was Onda, Onda's wife, and 5 children. So 7 members in Onda's family. Now, unfortunately, they did not always have enough food to eat. So Onda was always worried about, I wish we had more money. I wish we had more food. I wish I could give better things to my kids. So Onda was always thinking about that. Okay? So one night, when Onda had been working very hard throughout the day, he was tired and he wanted to walk back home. But the road back was very long.
Ma-
So what he decided? Yes, Arya, beta, you wanted to say something?
Yes.
Yes, beta, tell us.
If you want to bring money, you need to work very hard to bring.
Of course, you need to work very hard. And Onda did work very hard, but sometimes it was still not enough. So that's why he was a little bit worried. Okay. So that night, when Onda was walking back, he decided to take a shortcut through a graveyard. Now, that's a dangerous place to go to in the night. But Onda was not scared. He said, I have been working all day long. It is going to save me 1 hour of walking back home. So let me walk and take a shortcut through the graveyard. So Onda started walking in. As soon as he reached the middle of the graveyard, he was surrounded by ghosts from all sides. And they looked at Onda and they said, I bet you will be delicious. And Onda started to think, oh my God, these ghosts are about to eat me. They are making a plan, so I have to be cleverer than them. So, what do you think Onda did? Onda, instead of running away, he sat down. He sat down, surrounded by so many ghosts. And Onda took out his matchbox and lit a matchstick. And he showed the ghost the fire and the light. And he said, you know what? I am very happy that all of you have come here near me because I was looking to go and catch you all. What? As soon as the ghosts heard that, they got a little scared. They got a little worried. What? What? You are coming to catch us? How can that happen? And then Onda said, yeah, that's why I came to the graveyard in the night so I could meet all of you and catch you all. So then the ghost started getting scared. Then the ghost started coming and asking Onda, please, please, don't catch us. We will stay in the graveyard only. We won't go out anywhere else. I am very sorry. So Onda pretended to think. And then he said, but I have been sent to catch you. What about that? So the ghost told him, please don't catch us. We promise we will give you a reward instead if you let us go. So then Onda saw that there was an opportunity. There was a chance to get his life better. So Onda told the ghost, all right, because you are insisting so much, let me try. I will give you one chance. If you don't listen to me, I will come back here tomorrow night and grab all of you. So the ghost said, no, no, please, 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 please don't grab us. Tell us what do you want us to do. So Onda told them, go to my house. There are 7 pots and you must fill all 7 pots with gold coins. So the ghosts thought, yes, this is a good solution. Let's fill 7 pots with gold coins and Onda will let us go. So then Onda said that and he walked off. As soon as he reached home, he went home and he hung up 7 pots in his terrace. And then you know what he did? He chopped off the bottoms of each of the 7 pots. So what will happen to a pot if it has no bottom and you try to put something in? Who can tell me? Show an action and do me. Do an action and show me. Yes, very good, Sahasra. Very good. So anything that you put into the pot is going to go straight through. So if this is the pot, anything that goes in goes straight through. So what Onda did was he hung up a heavy sheet and he put heavy blankets below the 7 pots so that the ghost could not see what was happening under them. So then the ghost came in the night and they started putting gold coins into the pots. But no matter how much coins they filled, how many coins they filled, how many they put in, the pots never got filled only. And the ghost got super scared. Oh my God, Onda is going to come back tomorrow night and is going to catch us all again. He told us to fill 7 pots for him with gold coins, but none of them are filled yet. So the ghosts did the only thing that they could imagine. They put all the gold that they had into those 7 pots and then they ran away. And the next morning, when Onda woke up, he found heaps of gold where all the 7 pots were kept. And Onda was so thrilled, so happy, so amazed that he said, now I can make sure that I can give a wonderful life to all my children. And the best of all is that we have got rid of all the ghosts. Yeah. So after that day, nobody who walked in the graveyard was ever bothered by any ghosts. And that's how the story of Clever Onda became so famous. Did you guys enjoy the story? Did you like the story? Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Okay, that was awesome. I think our time is already over. So I am just going to say thank you so much for being here and being a part of this session. And I hope that you can come and listen to lots more stories on my podcast called Once Upon a Time with Uttara. I am sending the links again on the chat and you can have a look at that. Okay, you can have a look at that and you can tune into the chat anytime. It doesn't matter, any device will do, any laptop will do. All right, I hope you had fun. Did all of you have fun? Give me a thumbs up. I had lots of fun telling stories with all of you. I just wish our session was a little longer. There could have been so many more fun things to do, but I hope we will meet again soon. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, children. Thanks, Ananya, for hosting this. Thanks a lot for your help. Thanks, darling. And that's it from my side.